Hello, everybody, and welcome to Maximum Libertarian. I am Brian right here on the YouTube. So if you haven't already, please go down below, click that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like and share this with all your friends. But today's topic is a topic I've been thinking about for a couple days now. You know, this past week down there in Atlanta, a gentleman went into a massage parlor and gunned down 8 victims. And the question that I had about it was really bad, and it bothers me, is that the media has taken this opportunity to speak about the I do understand that Asian Americans are being attacked a little bit more in this great country of ours, and then that's wrong. But instead of focusing on what the gentleman said, they are focusing on race and how he went in there to shoot up Asians and all that good stuff. But the problem was, his own words said that he went in there because of temptations, not because of, and he wanted to end the temptations, not because they were Asians, but he wanted to get rid of that things that he was paying for, I guess. Now, obviously, I don't know if these massage parlors that he went into was given happy endings, if you will. But in reality there is a lot that's throughout the United States that take place. And then what happens is the females that work there are arrested. The individuals who are paying for the service are arrested, and it causes this whole big hubbub. So instead, I would like to start seeing the Libertarian Party do a little bit more. Let's start trying to figure out how to make this safe for everyone involved. So let's go to the platform first of the Libertarian Party. When it comes to sex work, it says the Libertarian Party supports the decriminalization of prostitution. We assert the right of consenting adults to provide sexual services to the clients for compensation, and the right of clients to purchase sexual service from consenting sex workers. And I think that's an important thing to speak about. Individuals should have the right to do with their body what they want to do. Now, just because I advocate that, or I advocate the legalization of almost anything, drugs or whatever, it don't mean that I'm advocating that those individuals do it. Because I do think sometimes doing certain drugs and probably becoming a sex worker could lead down to a very dark road that you weren't planning to walk down. So, but like I said, instead of focusing on the actual subject of he was trying to remove the temptation, he was they just want to focus on race. So in turn, once again, it can use, if it's keeping everybody fighting one another, is easier for control. So what are some things that we could do, or is there things that we could do to help protect the women who work in establishments like these? For instance, there's a lot of, I remember when I was in the Navy and I was in Connecticut, up in Rhode Island, they had this thing where prostitution was illegal outside, but if you went inside and had a roof, you could pay for whatever you wanted. And they finally passed a law that helped these ladies, because the news reporters and things of that nature actually went into a couple of these massage parlors up in Rhode Island, and it showed it was mattress on top of mattress. This is where they were living. This was not in the massage room. So I just want to let you know. But it was mattress on top of mattress. They were crammed into this little back room that you had to enter through a little small door. And in turn, look, these ladies came from overseas, probably illegally trafficked here. Now they're being told, hey, you got to work your debt off for getting here to the States, and they get told to go do this with some, Joe Blow who just wants whatever. And so in turn, we need to start figuring out ways to make it legalized. Now, here, I went to this Business Insider. They have 7 reasons why prostitution should be legal. And if you go down here, it says it reduces violence against women. And look at this, a study in San Francisco, prostitutes found 82% have been assaulted, 68 have been raped. Let's see, when was this done? All right, this was 2013, so it's a little old, but it's probably still the same. 68 have been raped, and another study of prostitutes in Colorado Springs found that 18 times more likely to be murdered than non-prostitutes, their age and race. All right, so there we go with that. And you please go here. All these articles are in the link below. And do the research for yourself and leave a comment. We need to figure out how to help make these workers safe. And if an individual wants to purchase the act, then they need to be into a safe situation, because God knows you've seen plenty of stories where some gentleman or whatever goes onto the Craigslist. He goes to a hotel room, and it's a jointed room. And then when he enters, he gets jumped and murdered. And that happened here in the great city of Roanoke that I reside in. But it also makes legalization would make sex workers healthier, because illegal street prostitutes, they're told by the pimps and johns to forego condoms. Where in states that it's legalized, it's required that they have to use a condom, and they also have to get STD test. And I think that would make it safer. When I was on the boat, like I was telling you, I was in the United States Navy, and when I was up, we were on deployment. And I remember I was talking to the corpsman, and he said that he would prefer guys to go to the brothels when we would pull into Rota, Spain, or whatever, because he said they are forced by government to go get their tests, so it's more likely to have individuals would not be bringing these STDs onto the boat that he has to deal with, So as you can see there, it's going to make you're going to be able to get the testing done. It says prostitution is arguably a victimless crime when there's 2 consenting adults. That is definitely a victimless crime. But it says while advocating, the prostitutes are victims of the johns and pimps. So right now when it's illegal, we're arresting the victims, and we're also arresting the individuals getting the act performed on. Then you got to go down here. Source of revenue, throw that out the window. That is garbage. You'll never hear me advocate for someone to sell their body and have to pay a tax on it. Screw that. But legalizing could save precious law enforcement resources, just like in the war on drugs. You win the war on drugs, they can actually focus on the murders, the kidnappings, things to that nature. And then it also says here that prostitutes could get labor rights. Legally employed people in America could get the rights like minimum wage, which any prostitute working for minimum wage, I guess you got to start somewhere. But not to make light of this horrible thing. Oh, I didn't bring it up onto the screen, but we'll pull it up here, Business Insider. And like I said, we'll go up to the top real quick. It's reducing violence. And so this is the article that I was just speaking about. All right. Now, the next article that I wanted to bring up, because like I said, we've got to really think about all aspects of this. You can't just go, well, let's legalize it, which if it's consenting to adults, legal, fine. I don't care. But if you go over here, this 2012 study published in the World Development, does legalization prostitute? Because one of the things that we've got right now going on that I don't like it, you hear a lot of people talk about. They talk about slavery, America's original sin. And you know what? Yeah, absolutely, man. slavery sucks, but in reality is everyone's been a slave, not just black people and not just the Irish. There's a ton of slaves, every race, religion. So right now, what we've got to deal with is individuals that are in slavery now. There's nothing I can do about what happened 100 to 200 years ago, 300, 400 years ago. There's nothing I can do. Sorry. I can give you $100 million. It's not going to fix it. It is what it is. But what can we fix right now? Things that are happening right now. And that's human trafficking. And that is like the slave trade. Thankfully, President Obama went over to Libya and got rid of Muammar Gaddafi. And it was probably happening before then. But he got rid of Gaddafi. And you can go on YouTube and you can watch a actual slave trade. And so let's fix that. Let's save them fine folks. Let's fix the folks that are getting yanked across borders and things of that nature to be put in some scumbags of harms. But like Jeffrey Epstein, who did not commit suicide, but we'll pretend he did. So here we go. Now, this is interesting. Now, this is a study finding that when you legalize prostitution, it are associated with higher human trafficking inflows than countries where prostitution is prohibited. The scale effect of legalizing prostitution, expansion of the market outweighs the substitution effect, where legal sex workers are favored over illegal workers. On average, countries with legal prostitution report a greater incidence of human trafficking inflows. All right, so then the effect of legal prostitution inflows is stronger in higher income countries than middle income countries. So if you keep going down here, it's got several things in here, and it now makes me question everything. Does this protect the individual from being more human trafficked? The type of legalization of prostitution does not matter. It only matters whether prostitution is legal or not. Legalization of prostitution itself is more important in explaining human trafficking than the type of legalization. And then, so democracies have a higher probability of increased human trafficking inflows than non-democratic countries. There is 13.4% higher probability of receiving higher inflows in a democratic country than otherwise. So, all right, so we're now at the 13-minute mark. So let's do a final wrap-up real quick. The Libertarian Party believes that consenting adults should be able to be part of to sell their body if they desire, to be part of the sex workers, and I have to agree with them. I do think that's a right thing. Now, at the same time, we've got to look at, when I was at Pride a couple years ago, I remember I was talking to an individual, and he said, without laws, what's our morality? So the last thing you really want us to do is to turn any Roanoke City or Austin or, well, New York City's garbage, but be it here or there, you don't want to turn a city or a town into Sodom and Gomorrah, like in the Bible, where everything's going crazy. We need to have some type of morality, but we also got to protect the individual, because there's a lot of these human traffickers are children who are people below 18. So we got to protect them. So we need, instead of doing this race baiting like they do in the media, let's actually start talking about what we can do. I say let's legalize prostitution, even though I understand that it can be an influx in people being human trafficked. I do think we need it. I think that's where I would probably lean towards. And then we've got to start doing some type of regulations with harder laws and making sure that anyone caught human trafficking, because we got to be able to get into these massage parlors and things of that nature where women aren't held behind into the dark alleys, and then you have just some John who wants to go in there and pay for a service, and he gets jumped and murdered. It's, that's horrible. It's horrible that that lady's back there, being forced to be back there. If it's a drug addiction, let's get her some help. If she was kidnapped, let's get her some help. So I really wish I could. On one hand, I would lean towards legalization of prostitution. I believe in the platform of the Libertarian Party. Consenting adults can do with what they want with their body, as long as it don't harm anyone. And it's, once again, consenting adults. But I don't know. I need help, and that's why I'm here on the YouTube, Maximum Libertarian. I want to make sure that we get the right answers out there, and let's start trying to figure this out. I think I've kind of went into a little jumble, twisted my words up almost all over the place on this one, I think. But I don't know. I hope you watched it all the way to the end. If you have, please click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and down below in the comments section, please type in what we should do to help make it easier for these women to get help. Let's make sure that or not just the women, but any individual who wants to be a sex worker, let's make sure that they are able to do it legally and safely and not be told that they are some pariah on society when that individual who is telling them that is just purchasing the service from someone else. So until next time, my friends, I'm Brian with Maximum Libertarian. Like I said, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, follow us. Follow us on our Twitter at We Are Max Lib. Go over to our Podbean. We got a weekly podcast coming up. It's going to be on all your favorite podcast platforms. And until next time, I'm Brian again, and we will see you tomorrow.